Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings and a spirit of endurance be upon you and your households. Okay, pray for endurance. Things can get a little bit more pressurized. I mean, they are getting a little bit more pressurized mentally sometimes. The Lord gives you times to take a rest as well before you get the next wave. All right. But this is all done, to purify you and to get you ready for the great tribulation to come. Okay. Because if you weren't going through the things that you're going through, because remember, loosely paraphrasing a scripture, acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Okay. Gold is tried in the fire, is it not? Okay. Why do they put gold in the fire? To remove impurities. The Lord is taking impurities out of you. The Lord is, the same way you do bench pressing, you do any kind of exercise, you have a warm up, do you not? Otherwise, you pull a muscle, you could injure yourself, you could hurt yourself. The same way with this truth, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is putting you through various trials and tribulations, okay, to build you up, to purify you, okay, all right. And I'll give you a worldly example. When you wake up in the AM, right? You do your prayers, you do what you got to do, right? You might go for a run. I say, oh man, I don't feel like getting up. Oh man, 144 Kalari Abashimasha. I don't feel like getting up. Oh man, I don't feel like getting up. Oh, I want to just lay in bed a little bit more. It's a Saturday morning. It's a Saturday early hours, man. You think I just want to chill in bed for a bit, maybe watch an old school talk show for a bit or something. I don't know. Jay Leno, or maybe, I don't know, whatever, right? The Tonight Show from back in the 80s, a little downtown entertainment or whatever. You're thinking, nah, I want to just chill. But you think to yourself, but if I chill, I'm not going to feel right. I'm not going to feel good about myself. I'm not going to feel that I'm going in the right direction. So what do? You get up, you do what you got to do spiritually, and then you pray again before you leave, and then you go for your run. You do your workout, hit the bag, whatever you got to do. Okay, like Mike Tyson said it once. You got to do the things that you don't want to do, but you got to do it with passion and love. You know, and that sometimes is you know. Going through certain things, you know, and you gotta. How did Apostle Rakar say it? You gotta. How do you say it? You got to get used to or love, the heat, the furnace of adversity. You got to love it. Lucy's saying, obviously the apostle used different words. You got to love it. The same way, you don't feel like working out that day or whatever. There's days you love working out, there's days you don't. The days you don't feel like working out, you do it, and then afterwards, once it's done, you feel better. The same way with going through the furnace of adversity. All right? Let me go through that scripture first, okay? Because there's a beautiful. There's. I hope, Lord willing, I can find the scripture that I'm thinking about. I just don't know the correct. Um, uh, furnace of adversity. All right. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire. Okay, Slakia. Ecclesiasticus. Now, it's got Ecclesiasticus 2 and 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Verse 3. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Okay? All right? You be patient. Okay? Because that's part of the test. When you're put into a predicament like that, or your back is against a wall, whatever it is, whether it's work or whatever it is, financially, or whether it's mentally, whether it's spiritually, whether it's whatever it could be, okay? That's you've got to have in your mind. It should pop up straight in your mind. That scripture, which usually, Lord willing, pops up into my mind. Cast your burdens upon the Lord. You know, that comes in my mind. That resounds in my mind. Gold is tried in the fire. This is a test. Remember, this whole simulation of being in Esau Edom's kingdom is a test for the elect. Okay, this is a test. You want here to be happy, man. Okay, there's small elements. You know, you come into the truth, you're happy then. You get the Lord's name, you're happy then. You find out you're an Israelite, you're ecstatic. You know what I mean? With all these beautiful things, the Lord's name, the truth, and find out you're a Jake. That's a beautiful thing. You know, you're part of the chosen people. And better yet, if you've heard the call, okay, like in the movie The Knowing, was knowing, you heard the call, bruv. You know how big that is? That's a big deal. People hit the lottery, 60 million pounds, euros, dollars, or whatever, 100 million, you know? I saw a video last week, I think it was 6 Edomites. They won like some crazy amount in the terms of lottery, and right at the end as well, because the Lord is even giving these devils their little bit of desserts before they go into slavery. They might enjoy those millions for like a couple of months or whatever, right? Okay, but we don't want the trinkets of this world, man. We want the kingdom, all right? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. The Lord deems you acceptable. The Lord deems you, someone that can deal with this. Okay? So therefore, you're a spiritual soldier in your own right. Verse 6, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright. Okay? All your steps, your thinking, what you got to do. Okay, because remember, when your back is against the wall, okay, the Lord is testing you. Are you going to call upon me, or are you going to go freaking crazy, thinking, "Oh, I got to correct this, I got to correct that"? You know, basically jumping out of your skin, so to speak, and as we say in the UK, going doolally, going crazy, which is basically you're being moved to do stupidity. Okay, the Lord said, right? The Lord Yahweh Shemeshai said, He hasn't given, Jake the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, everything's of Yahweh Shemeshai. You can't stop the Lord's. You can't stop the Lord's movie, the story that's specifically designed for you, that's custom made. It's going to happen what's going to happen, but you ask the Lord to guide your steps so you can get out of it. The Lord's not going to put you into a predicament where you just completely fucked. Okay, all right. You might feel that you might go in that direction, but the Lord always pulls you out of it. Does He not? Every single thing you go through, this is a test. Okay, these are training grounds for the elect. Okay, mentally, spiritually, physically, in every single way. Okay, so you can be what? Better priests, kings, better rulers. Okay, and you're going to appreciate the kingdom immensely. After the hell over here, as Elder Apostle Gabar would say, you're living in a shithole apartment, and then you've got a beautiful mansion palace. And we're just saying this in words, and we can see the rich Arabs and the rich Edomites, how they live. That is nothing. Yahweh Shemeshah is going to give way more. Way more. You see Tony Stark in Iron Man with his little mansion across the cliff opposite the ocean. Esau Edom, representing Esau Edom, Tony Stark, money and this technology on the left-hand side, living in the cave on the cliff, Caucasus Mountains type situation there, they're like their habitat, right? Right? You think that looks kind of cool, That's nothing, man. The Lord can give you a whole planet to yourself, man, and just make it so beautiful, man. What I'm saying is not even enough how much Yahweh Shemeshah is going to do. All right. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Okay, verse 7, ye that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Okay, ye that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shemeshai, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Okay, you're going to be okay. How many times each week, each month, you feel like, oh shit, here we go again? But does the Lord bring you out of it? Does he not? Yeah, I was in a different predicament on Monday. What's it today? Friday. You know, the Lord took care of that situation for me. It was a trying situation, all right. But the Lord Yahweh Shemashai made it better, put me in a better situation. All right. It could be anything, man. You know, everything is a test for you elect. The Lord ain't gonna keep hammering you and hammering you and hammering you where you just say, "Oh man, I can't deal with this no more. I'm not even gonna. I can't even, get my head up above the water and breathe even through my nostrils. Lord, please give me a little break." The Lord will give you a little break, but then it starts again. Okay, it's not nice. Okay, I agree, it is not nice, but it's part of the process. Uh, um, Bear with me. I'm just looking for a scripture. This one's just as good. First Peter's 1:7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold, that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua Hamashiach. Okay, the trial of your faith is going to come as well. This is all building blocks to the great trial. That trial is going to be the microsehip, Revelation 13:16. Okay, that's going to be a big deal. All right. Right now, you got a roof over your head. You can shower, and it's a boiling hot day. You know what I mean? All right. And you're at home thinking, all right, man, I'm hot. I'm having a shower again. Oh, I'm hot. I'm having a shower again. You know, because you don't want to use the AC too much if you got an AC, because it's not a very healthy thing to use AC all the time. Unless you absolutely have to, because that temperature change of the body can make you ill. You know, sometimes you just hit the fan. You want to have a shower again just to cool off. These things are going to be taken away. Access to water, cool water to satiate yourself, access to hot food or whatever. These things are going to be taken away for a short while, man. You might not be able to wash your ass for a day or two, which is disgusting, but it's going to get like that, But the elect are going to be good because the Lord said his servants are going to eat. The Lord Yahweh Shemashai is going to provide ways, man. I keep thinking about, rich Edomites that live on the outskirts of London in their country homes or whatever. A lot of them are going to be deleted, I believe. And the Lord is going to provide the elect, with food and drink and wine and liquor, that good stuff that Esau has. And not that they have basements over here too in the UK, the old school London houses or whatever, or the storage, or the pantries or whatever, the Lord's going to provide a way, man. Okay. The Lord's going to provide a way because this kingdom, all right, doesn't have long left. All right. It doesn't have long left. Okay. We've got an eternal kingdom coming. This kingdom is basically, uh, Esau's like Cinderella. All right. He was a servant to begin with, and he's going to go back to his servitude in a gruesome way. And all he had was those few hours of dressing up, wearing because like we're the Lord's woman. Esau is like Satan's woman. we right. Esau be wearing the tiara or the crown or whatever, you know, wearing those nice garments for a short while, and that carriage changes, I believe, to a pumpkin or something like that. And Cinderella is not burnt up. Cinderella is not beautiful or attractive or looking uh, glorious, right? And if you think about it, the name Cinderella, where I had that definition of that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, here we are. All right. Cinderella. Okay, Cinderella. The name Cinderella does not mean burnt cinders, but is directly related to word cinders, ashes. Okay, when you say something burnt to cinders, what does it mean? All right. The French origin cendre means ash or cinder. Does the word cinder mean burnt? Okay. The exact term burnt to cinders or reduced to ashes is incinerated or charred. Okay. That's what Esau's going to be. America's going to be, the whore of Babylon. Okay. The woman, that's Cinderella. Okay. Short rule. Okay. And it's going to be what? Burnt to cinders. Okay. But we're the Lord's woman. We have eternity. Okay. We have eternity. All right. And we're looking for it because we got a kingdom that's not going to be moved. All right. It's the verse of the day, Hebrews 12 and 28. Wherefore, we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace whereby we may serve the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai acceptably with reverence and godly fear. Okay. So our kingdom is coming, man. All right. Whatever you go through is a necessity. It's horrible. It's not nice feeling, but it's one of those things that you got to go through. But remember, okay, Cinderella is, a temporary, you know, is one of those. It's basically just a whore of Babylon. You utilize and you throw it away, okay. But we, Cinderella being the whore of Babylon, but we Israelites, we're the Lord's woman spiritually, okay, and we have eternal rulership, okay. We're like spiritually the bride of the Lord. So okay, the bride of the Lord. All right. Whereas Cinderella was, is like a concubine, and if a Jake don't like a concubine, you can't sell her or sell it to other men or whatever. It's not like Snoop Dogg. The homies can't have none. None of that shit. It's basically, you just, let her to go. You let her go, right? If you're not pleased with her, okay. Whereas we're the Lord's woman, okay. We have eternity with Yahweh Bashim Yashai, all right. Whereas Cinderella had a few short hours, man, of living glorious, all right. When they come out of the caves in the 1300s, damn near less than 1,000 years ago, these damn devils were, you know, going, like that movie, what's it called, Quest for Fire. All right. I remember our kingdom is for eternity. Okay. Just meditate upon it, man. Look at British Columbia and Canada. Look at the Swiss Alps. Look at all the most beautiful parts of the world. Look at that and just amplify that in your mind by times 1 million. That's how beautiful the kingdom's going to be. All right. You got any of your shortcomings physically, mentally, whatever, spiritual, your shortcomings, right? You just meditate upon that, man. If you've heard the call of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, all that's going to be rectified, man. And it's not like you've got to wait hundreds of years. All right. It's 2026. This ain't 1956. This is 2026. All right. We are right at the door of Yahushai's return. Just a few more prophecies to go. Okay. All right. Think about it. You're going to be handsome as a man, beautiful if you're a woman, Israelite. All right. Spiritual power. You're going to be young forever. Ain't going to be no graying of the beards or the hair. Your women ain't going to, their breasts are not going to shrink and get all shriveled up. They're not going to go start, losing their hair, the thickness of their long flowing hairs. Their skin's not going to get wrinkled up. They're not going to go into a menopausal state. They're going to be ripe and beautiful forever. Your wives and your wives, concubines will come and go because they're still going to be human, right? Well, you know what I mean in this world, human type, right? Okay, it's going to be amazing, amazing. Okay, and if you can't believe the kingdom's going to be like that, well then you need to go back to believing in Rumpelstiltskin and all that bullshit, and trick or treat and all that nonsense, and waiting for Satan Claus to come down the chimney and give you a freaking present every year. All right, go back to that bullshit. All right, otherwise, we Israelites, Lord willing, we're part of that number. We're going to serve Yahweh Bashim Yashai, man. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there now. All praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be to Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bahashem Akakadash, Mawatha Bad Bapal, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.